Pakistani's attempt to re-interview Shane Warne and Mark Waugh will have...
Tim Webster. I'm Tracy Spicer. Good night.
Tonight, Australian cricket announces an independent inquiry into one of its darkest days. The mighty US eclipsed by international golfing brilliance.
He's done it.
And Glasgow escapee Mark Viduka sheds light on his Celtic paper. Hello everyone, I'm Tim Webster. This is Sports Tonight, and there is more. The Blues' embarrassing batting blunders.
Catch it! Yeah!
Lucy Tyler-Sharman to blue with Cycling Australia in the courts. And the Panthers bite off more than they can chew. And first tonight, Australian Cricket Board Chairman Dennis Rogers is the latest to enter the Warne-Waugh saga. Rogers says there'll be more transparency in the board's future handling of issues like the bookie scandal, including a wider investigation into cricket's betting links.
They were investigated. They were found guilty. They were fined. They've paid their fine. We've advised the ICC. And what the people at the time thought was in the best interest of cricket in Australia and international cricket, that the matter should be kept in-house, as it does happen in lots of other organisations.
Australian Cricket Board Chairman Dennis Rogers setting the record straight about the Warne-Waugh bookie scandal. But he's quick to add, while at the time former ACB Chairman Alan Crompton acted in the best interests of everyone, his opinion is different.
My view is I wouldn't do the same today, because time's moved on. We live in a different world. We live in a world where accountability is vital to one's integrity and to efficacy and to ethos.
I work in a bank, and if I took a kickback for doing a loan that I shouldn't have done, I get sacked.
It's a bit like the Clinton thing, try to hide something and it eventually comes out.
They have to be dealt with in some way, I think, to keep the game honest.
I think it's probably a storm in a teacup. I think what they did was completely different to what the Salim Malik stuff was all about.
They're still out there playing the game for the country. Doesn't matter about the off-field things.
And while in Adelaide today, the Australian public conducted their own investigation or grilling of Mark Waugh when he ventured out to the crease, Dennis Rogers says matters like this one will be dealt with more thoroughly in the future.
We believe these issues should not be handled by home boards. We believe these issues should be handled by the international governing body, and that they will have Australia's 100% support when that opportunity comes.
And that opportunity may be closer than expected. It's been reported tonight that a Pakistan commission investigating match fixing will ask the ACB to allow Shane Warne and Mark Waugh to appear before it.
And the Australians are off to a solid start in the third test at the Adelaide Oval. After a few early drop chances and the loss of Slater and Mark Waugh, a century from Langer and half tons from Steve Waugh and skipper Taylor steadied the ship. 4 for 266 at stumps.
Not a week in which Australia has sung the praises of Mark Waugh, but today the only connection between money and a pitch was made by the captains.
We'll have a bat, mate.
The temperature near 40 degrees and even hotter under the English collar with 2 early chances.
Well, it was well taken. I think there was Hick at second, Skip dive forward.
A case of third-time lucky.
Well, that's very well bowled, and it is out.
Michael Slater, 17, the only casualty before lunch. Mark Taylor and Justin Langer warning the bowlers of the job ahead.
It's well played. Taylor finding the gap. This may go to the boundary.
Well, it's been smashed away beautifully.
A partnership sanding away England's attack. 32 runs in the first 4 overs after lunch.
Good placement again from Taylor. That'll be 4.
Taylor only once dicing with trouble in the first hour.
The throw was wide and he was out by a long, long way.
And the nearest Langer came to losing his head during the drinks break. But in the second hour...
It's gone! Well bowled! Taylor trying to cut.
Taylor 59, 2 for 140. All eyes on one player.
This is a little bit of booing. That may well be the Barmy Army.
On the pitch, a hostile welcome. Waugh unsettled for most of his innings, but hanging on until Peter Such tempted him off the edge.
Oh, dear. Peter Such is the man. Mark Waugh is gone.
Waugh 7, a lonely walk out of sight. but the ground's still ringing with reminders as Steve Waugh found top number on the dice.
We've seen a lot of shots from Steve Waugh in the last 6 months, just like that one.
At the other end, Langer worked the gaps with his partner finding the boundary.
Oh, superb on the front foot this time.
The most telling run of the day, though, a single.
This time he gets it fine. Well played. Fine knock.
While there were worrying signs for England, the second new ball and Gough offered a belated smile. Waugh 59, the visitors still holding on.
Yes, so Australia looking pretty comfortable after day one of the third Ashes Test. Justin Langer's unbeaten century, as well as Taylor and Steve Waugh's contribution, a great building block for the Australian innings.
With all the media talk about all the other good players around Australia and how they all should be at number 3 and I shouldn't, that, you know, there's some pressure, but I knew that destiny was in my own hand. I knew if I keep making runs, I'll be batting for number 3 for Australia. It's as simple as that. You know, there's been a few distractions, but the feeling in the team is sensational. I mean, I think it's, if anything, it's going to bring us everyone stronger, closer together, if that's possible, because the Australian cricket team is the closest knit unit I've ever come across. I've been lucky since '95 to be involved in it, and it is the most closely knit cricket team or business team or anything I've ever been involved with. So, you know, I think the team's becoming stronger by these minor disturbances. So I'm sure the wicket will deteriorate rather than get better. You know, it's crumbling now because it's so hot. I think it will get harder to bat on, so the longer that we can spend batting, I think the harder it's going to be for England.
I don't know how the wicket's going to perform as it goes on, but I'd be surprised if it doesn't take some spin towards the end. Yeah, we've got to get stuck in tomorrow and try and chip out a few of the Australians and try and keep the score down to something reasonable. You know,
John and Dick go their separate ways. Still not happy with Cycling Australia. 30 grand win. And you don't want to mess with these blokes.